Blog Talk Radio.
Talk it up, 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 talk it, talk it, talk it, talk it, talk it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Walking the Talk Radio with your host, the Northern Belle, Andrea J. Carr. Wow, it's been a minute since I've talked to you. I haven't heard from you. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. However, you know, in life, when you go through some things, you trying to find yourself. And I had been the host for Talk the Talk Radio for 4 years. And I felt like I needed a change, like I needed to do something different. And so I began going on this journey where I wanted to still be on radio, still host, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to host. So I was looking at different methods to my madness, I guess is the best way to say it, what I could talk about. And I wanted to do different platforms. Sometimes you get a little tired of doing the same thing the same way. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. However, it didn't work out that way. And so it was really funny, you know, when you have a desire to do something, but you're trying to do it a different way and it doesn't work out. So you got to come back. Come back to my first love, and that's talking about life, being bold with it, and using scripture to do it. We'll talk about all kinds of different things and do it different ways. But I hope it will definitely be a blessing to you, because it's definitely going to be a blessing to me, because there's some things that I need to learn, some things I need to hear. And we'll get the technical issues together by next weekend. But thank you for tuning in. Let me say early Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies out there, to the grandmommies, the aunts, the godmommies, those who are taking care of children. God bless you. Happy Mother's Day. But then also let me say my prayers are with those who have lost their mother, or who have lost that person who's been in the mother role in their life. I definitely will hold you in prayer. It's nothing like losing mama. It's nothing like losing that person. And I know tomorrow won't be so easy, especially as you see other people celebrating and going out, and everything is directed at moms tomorrow. So please know that I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your comfort, your peace, and that people will come in and not distract you, but allow you to do other things if you don't want to focus on the loss, or help you to get through it. There's nothing wrong with mourning. There's nothing wrong with grieving. There's nothing wrong with reminiscing and remembering. So don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't shed tears, because you can. If somebody has meant something to your life, you definitely have the right to do what you need to do to cope. But I just would pray for a healing to your heart. Happy Mother's Day. I'm blessed to be a mommy of 3 biological children. I lost one, so I would have had 4 miscarried at a young age. But I have adopted many males and females as my children, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I probably have about 100 children underneath me, whether I'm their mommy or their auntie or their mentor or whatever. And I just want to give a shout out to those who are in my heart. I love you guys. Thank you for reaching out to me from time to time. It feels good to have people just love on me. So thank you for that. The other thing I want to say is a big congratulations to my niece, Kiana Bowman Cameron. Congratulations, graduate of Georgia State University. We went to the graduation last night. We were at the stadium, and I would love to say that we were refined and sophisticated and classy. Well, we were, until they called her name, and then we lost it because we are so proud, so proud, so proud of her. I'm so proud also of my sister who raised a wonderful child. Is she perfect? No. But I dare any of you to say that you are. But she's such a good girl. For all the things that go on in the world, I'm really, really impressed with all our children. Can I just say that? Mine too, my other niece. I'm really impressed with the 5 of them because for all the stuff that's out there that we didn't have to deal with, thank you, Lord. And so we don't have perfect children. They mess up, they fall, they stumble, but phew, we missed a lot of bullets. We dodged a lot of them. So I'm just grateful. But congratulations again, Key. I'm very, very, very proud of you. My other niece, Yama, she's in school now. I can't wait for her graduation because I'm going to show out just like I did last night. And, you know, I would love to say I'm not that person because I'm really not ratchet and ghetto. I can be. I'm kind of in the middle between bougie and ratchet. I'm bougetto, as a lot of my family says. I will cut up. I will. And it was funny where we were sitting last night. We had people around us, and we had some that looked like they were dipped in lemon juice. I'm not talking about people, but I'm just saying you need to enjoy life. Graduation. For some people, it's a one-shot opportunity because they'll never go back to another college. They'll not go on for their master's, or if they're graduating with their master's, they may not go on to their PhD, or if they have their PhD, that might be it for them. So you should really be excited. I don't care if you go to a graduation every day, every other day, every week, every month, however it goes down. Still celebrate. And I really felt bad for them because they didn't laugh, they didn't smile. Even when their person was announced, they were just like, yay. We were yelling for the person. We saw the graduate when she came to take pictures and everything. So I recognized her when she was walking across, and we started yelling too. We were yelling for people we didn't even know just because we felt the excitement of their families and we wanted to join in. Life is too short. You got to celebrate. I'm tired of seeing these lemon dip people. It's time to get out that lemon juice and get into something else, some strawberries, some watermelon, something with some sweetness to it. Get some honey in you. Celebrate life. You just never know. Oh, okay. I've said what I said. You know who I am. This is who I am. Love me or not, I'm still going to be me. Feels good to be me. All right, so today's text, because I don't want to hold you too long, it's early on a Saturday morning. Again, thank you for tuning in to Walking the Talk Radio. And it's kind of like a part 2 to the Talk the Talk radio show I did from 2012 to 2016. We were talking the talk. And I really want us to get to a point and to a place where we're walking out what we talk about, where we're actually water walking. This is the season of begin to do those things that you've been talking about. It's time to walk them out this year. So when I came back to do the show, God gave me walking, and I was like, why? But I realized that a lot that we talked about in those 4 years were great conversations. They were a great starting place, but there wasn't a whole lot of activation going on. So this year, I want you to listen, or these years, coming years, I want you to listen with an ear of what is it that you need to do? Where do you progress? How do you move forward? How do you start that water walk? That's where I want you to go this year. I don't want you to just listen and like, oh, that was a good message, or you touched my heart, you pricked me, and then put it down and keep it moving. No, I want you to actually walk it out this year. There's some purposes that need to be realized. There are some purposes that need to be fulfilled. There are some callings, some ministries, some businesses, some books. There are things that need to be done in this season. And if I can help activate it, I would be so excited. Which brings me into the conversation we have today. It's called Don't Hate. Now, I might say some things to offend, and I really don't mean it. Please know it's all in love. You know that two-edged sword, right? Or two-edged sword, let me say it correctly. I wanted to talk about it because I had been speaking to some friends of mine, and we were talking about things that we used to do in ministry, things we used to do in the world, things we used to do on the job. And it seemed like a lot of times we were doing things, we were not recognized for it. We were not given gratitude, appreciation. It wasn't made to feel like we did anything to help somebody. And, you know, it was like you did a job well done. You went above and overboard on what you were supposed to be doing. And it was just like, thanks, cool, or not even a thank you. And there are a lot of people who have hurt feelings behind not being recognized. There are a lot of people who want to feel appreciated. There are people who would like your gratitude. And so when they don't get it, it kind of sits inside them. And the sad thing is that it'll fester. Now, can I be honest with you? Because you know I am. I had been a part of the ministry many years ago. And I know I used to bust my butt to help in this ministry. And I wasn't recognized for it. And I'm not even talking about, across the pulpit saying, thank you, she's the bomb, we couldn't have done it without her. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about I would get phone calls in the middle of the night, first thing in the morning, on the weekends when I'm trying to spend time with my family to do something. And I would do it not because I was doing it to get a shout out, but because in my heart I wanted to. And the sad thing was they didn't even say thank you. And it was bothering me. For a while, I'm like, I can't even get a thank you. I'm sacrificing my time. I'm sacrificing my talent. Sometimes I was sacrificing my treasure, sacrificing time with my family, my friends, doing what I really want to do to help you. You can't even say thank you. Well, the funny thing was, as that was festering, somebody else came on board and started helping as well. And they bent over backwards to celebrate this person. Oh, you're awesome. Oh, you're wonderful. And I'm sitting there like, wait. We're celebrating this person, and I can't even get a thank you. And the funny thing was, keeping it 100 with you, I would be helping this person to accomplish what they had to accomplish. So I'm like, but you're getting all the accolades and the praise. I can't even get a thank you even from you. And you know I'm helping you. You're taking all 100% of the credit. Well, I told you I had already had bitterness festering in me. So when that happened, it was a whole monster that formed. And I had church hurt. And I didn't want to help anymore. And I said, I don't care what talents I have, you will not pimp me, pimping, but you're not going to pimp me. That's how I felt. And I was aggravated. I was frustrated. I was bitter. I didn't want to I felt rejected. I felt so many feelings. That guess what? I stopped attending church. Didn't want to do it. Nope, I'm good. I've grown beyond it. I'm past it. I've learned all I can learn. And it was a lie. But my hurt was so big and so bad and so bold, I couldn't see past it. I couldn't see past the sacrifices I was making that were not being appreciated. And I want to say this too. I'm talking about ministry, but this is in life. There are people who go beyond what they want to do, even in relationships, whether it's with a family member or with a husband, a fiance, a significant other, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever have you. Appreciation is free. It costs you nothing but words and action. All you have to do sometimes is say thank you. Maybe a hug, maybe a thank you and a hug. Sometimes you can get a card, a balloon, a flower, or something to say, I appreciate you. But the least you could do is say thank you. I didn't get it. I didn't get that, and I wanted it because I realized my time, my talent, and my treasure were being utilized. But it was like they were, but the me wasn't appreciated because I was using those things. Was it right to walk away? I don't think so. I honestly believe I should have said something. Now I think of it. I should have said something all those years ago to say, hey, I'm doing this. Can I get a thank you? And I shouldn't have to. We as a people should be so in sync and so in tune that we automatically know if somebody does anything for you, you should say thank you, period. No matter how small, how big, at least, at the very little, say thank you. But there's some people who don't know. There's some people who think they've said it, or they were so busy that, or they feel like, I asked you to do it, I know you can do it, so there's no thanks necessary. I can't tell you the reasoning behind it, but show a little love, show a little appreciation. So while we were talking about this, I was thinking about this, don't hate, because here's what happens. When we start getting caught up in not being thanked and not being appreciated, and somebody else comes around and it seems like they're being appreciated, we start hating on those people. We start getting mad at those people. Those people didn't do anything. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we have to be very careful that even though we're gifted, even though we're talented, that there are other people around that are just as gifted or more, that are just as talented or more, and they may get recognition. They may get the spotlight. They may get the gratitude. Don't hate on them. It's not their fault. They're doing what they are gifted and talented to do. So don't hate on them. I'm not telling you to hate on the people who are not appreciating you either. There's a reason for your time, your talent, and your treasures. We're going to look at it. If you'll join me in 1 Corinthians 3, I'm going to look at a couple of the verses, 5 through 8. And I'm going to start in the King James Version, starting at verse 5. Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believed, even as the Lord gave to every man? I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. That's 1 Corinthians 3, verses 5 through 8. And I really wanted to talk about it for a second because, first of all, before I go any further, I just want to say this is often one of the most misquoted verses in the Bible. For the longest time, I thought the verse was, one man plants, one man waters, God gets the increase, period. Not God gives the increase, but God gets the increase. So meaning for me that somebody will plant something, somebody will water something, God, you'll get what we've done. One of the most misquoted scriptures. You will have no idea how many times I've heard this verse, and it sounds nothing like what it sounded when I read it to you. That verse, all in itself, what was it? Verse 6. I have planted, Apollos water, but God gave the increase. So misquoted. When I read that for myself for the first time, I was just like, wait, that's not what I hear in church. This was a while ago, years ago. That's not how they said it. And then so many saints go out and they say it and they don't ever finish it. So I just wanted to just put a spotlight on that verse to say today so that you'll know what it really, really is, so that it's no longer misquoted. There's so many quotes from the Bible that are incorrect. There are so many sayings that are not even in the Bible that are given to the Bible. So we have to be very careful with what we say. Before you say it, even if you heard it 1,000 times, read it for yourself. Go back and look and make sure it's saying what it's supposed to say. Because we do it. We get excited as preachers and ministers. We get amped up. We may say things, talking, and get it wrong. And that's real. And most pastors, real ones, the ones that keep it 100, that are biblical pastors, will tell you, research for yourself. Study to show thyself approved. Read it for yourself. Know it for yourself. I'm grateful for those that do that. Okay, so let's get into this. So this story is Paul. He's talking to the Corinth, the people of Corinth, the Corinthians. He's letting them know that I'm not working the work by myself. I have an able person, and his name is Apollos. And Apollos was taught the word of God by Aquila back in the day. And they say that Apollos was well-versed, that he knew a lot about Jesus, even though he was not an original disciple. He was taught and knew the word. Not only did he know the word, but he worked the word. So as Paul was in the city of Corinth, Apollos came and taught him, not taught him, but taught with him. So that's how this whole scripture came about, because Paul said, I have one gift, Apollos has another gift. But even with our gifts, it's God who gets the increase. He gives it. He gives it to the people. So even though I'm giving you this word, and even though Apollos may be acting out the word, because it doesn't say exactly who was doing what, it's because of God that you received this word. God is the one that's important in this whole thing. And I need to share that with somebody today, that you are so worried about what you're doing and how it's received when the spotlight should not even be on you. The spotlight should not even be on the people who don't appreciate you. The spotlight is that God is going to make sure the seed you planted and the water that came on that seed are going to be received in the heart of man. And that person who may have shut out church all his life may turn his life around and crave and desire, be hungry and thirsty for God, because you sacrificed to plant the seed, somebody sacrificed to water the seed, but God broke that ground up. He softened the ground. He allowed what you were speaking or saying or singing or praise dancing, whatever it was that you did, he allowed that person's heart to open up to receive what you were doing. He gave the increase. He gave the desire. He gave the attention. He gave the thirst. He gave the hunger. God did it. So you can jump up and down, shout, do backflips, running man, backslide, do the moonwalk, all you want to. But if God doesn't allow it, it's not going to happen. And I needed to share that with you today, because even though you may not be appreciated, even though you may not see any form of gratitude, even though it feels like everything you do is being taken for granted, God sees what you're doing. And take the focus off of that and continue to do what God has called you to do. A lot of us leave jobs, leave relationships, leave ministries, put our businesses to the side, put people to the side because of lack of gratitude, because we feel like we're being taken for granted. But had you ever talked to God to ask, is it my season to leave? Is it time for me to get out of this? Because just because it seems as if you're being taken for granted, God may have needed you in that relationship, at that job, working your business, in the ministry, with that person in order for them to learn something. Sometimes we get too involved in the flesh, and I'm talking to myself because I'm one, when we didn't have to. Because if we had taken the focus off of our hurt feelings, of feeling used and abused, of feeling being taken for granted, we would have realized that there was a work being done, and at God's appointed time, he was going to turn it all around. We quit right before. We stopped right before. We ended it right before. And God's just shaking his head and saying, I just need you to get this. If I don't tell you to move, stay. I know you have tears, but I'm going to turn those tears into joy. I'm going to give you beauty for ashes. What God is saying. Some of us move too quick, and Andrea is talking to Andrea, because I'm one that likes to move just like that. Swiftly, quickly, I'm out. But I've had to learn to sit sometimes and take it, accept it, and keep serving even when I don't feel like it. And when God is ready for you to go, he has no problem with saying go. He has no problem with saying move. I've experienced it too often to not know his voice. Okay, there's some points I wanted to give to you to help you during this week, to help you during this month, to help you during this year, to help you during this season of Don't Hate. Number one, serving God should be pure. Serving God should be pure. It should be, you can put this in quotation marks, real. Let's look at verse 7, the A clause, and I'm going to look at it in the easy-to-read version. It says, so the one who plants is not important, and the one who waters is not important. It should be pure. So it shouldn't be about you. It shouldn't be about you needing a pat on the back. It should not be about you needing praise and accolades. It should be pure. You're serving, you're working, you're ministering, you're dancing, you're building your business, you're in a relationship, you're loving because you want to, period. You were gifted, you were talented, you got this, and you don't need a thank you. You just want to do it because it's pure. It's purely what you desire to do. That's where you need to look. That's how you don't hate on people doing what you do. That's how you don't hate on people who never say thank you, because you're doing what you love doing. You're not doing it for a reward. You're doing it because you want to, because you purely care about people, because you purely care about ministering the word of God, because you purely love that man, because you purely love that woman. It's pure. It's real. There is nothing in it. There is no hidden agenda. There's no obvious agenda. There are no agendas. It's pure. Don't hate me. I didn't do this. This is what I was given. So stop sucking your teeth and rolling your eyes at me. It's pure. Number 2, serving God should be pious. P-I-O-U-S, pious. You can put in quotation marks, reverent. Look at verse 7, the B clause. Only God is important because he is the one who makes things grow. How can you stop hating on people? How can you stop wanting the thank yous and the gratitude? Focus on God. Your talents, your gifts, your skills all came from him. He blessed you with them. So focus on him. As you're wiping tears because they thanked Brother Abraham, they thanked Sister Gloria, and they didn't thank you, bump it. Focus on God. God, you gave me the gift to serve. You gave me the gift to speak. You gave me the gift to sing. You gave me the gift to dance. You gave me the gift of math. You gave me the gift of teaching. You gave me the gift of science. You gave me the gift of a relationship. I'm going to focus on you. You gave it. There's a reason you gave it. So I'm going to focus on you. I'm not only going to be pure in what I'm doing. There's no agendas. There's no tactic. I'm not trying to work the system. But then I'm going to realize you gave me this. So I'm going to honor you by using the gift, the talent, the skill that you gave me. This is how I tell you thank you, God, by using what you gave me 100%. Giving it all to you. You know the song, I give myself away? Well, what do you think he's giving away? Everything. So every gift, talent, skill you have, give it back to the master who gave it to you in the first place. That's how you get this hate out your system, this bitterness, this angst. This is how you do it. Number 3, serving God should be purposeful. Serving God should be purposeful. And in quotation, put rewarding. Look at verse 8. The one who plants and the one who waters have the same purpose, and each one will be rewarded for his own work. They're not telling you thank you. They're not grateful. They're not giving you gratitude. They're taking you for granted. It's all good, baby. You know why? Because God is going to bless you. I don't know about you, but there's no greater reward than what God can give me. No man can give me what God can. So if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, if I'm fulfilling the calling that God has for my life, if I'm doing it, man never has to say thank you. That's fine. Take me for granted. Use me up till you can't use me anymore. Those tears I'm crying, God is about to give me beauty for ashes. So that in itself makes me want to serve, because I know that when I ask God for something, he's going to say, daughter, I remember what you did. Be blessed. Blessings are even just waking up in the morning, being in your right mind, clothed in your body, your spirit, soul, and mind aligning. There's nothing like God's reward. And I just want to leave that with you this week. Thank you for tuning in to Walking the Talk. Now walk it out this week. Don't hate, but do your best. God bless you.
pros and the no start with Lowe's.